Hello everyone. In this video, I'll be talking about the details of Weber test. So first, uh, uh, I'll demonstrate how Weber test is done, and then I'll talk about the various other aspects.
For Weber test, we first explain the procedure to the patient. Then after striking the tuning fork, we place the tuning fork over the central part of the skull bone. That is either on the forehead, it can be put on the root of the nose, it can be put over the incisor teeth, and sometimes on the chin also. So anywhere over the middle part of the skull bone, the tuning fork is placed, and the patient is asked to which side he is hearing the sound better. So that is called lateralization of the sound. So if the patient says that he is hearing better from the left ear, so we say the sound is lateralized to the left ear. Or if the patient may say that he is not hearing at all, or he is hearing equal from both sides, so that is called not lateralized. So that is Weber's test.
Now, normally, Weber is heard equally in both the ears. That is, we say that it is not lateralized to any particular ear or it is centralized. But in conductive hearing loss, the Weber is lateralized to the worse ear. That is, if I am having a conductive loss in my right ear, then the Weber will lateralize to the right ear. Now, the reason is that if I am having a conductive hearing loss in right ear, then the air conduction will be the air conduction is hampered, and it will not disturb the bone conduction. The ambient noise of air conduction, it won't disturb my bone conduction. So when a vibrating tuning fork is kept at the center of the skull, the sound will directly go to the cochlea through the bone conduction, and it is not disturbed by the air conduction because of the conductive hearing loss, so it is heard better. While in sensory neural hearing loss, Weber is lateralized to the better ear. So, for example, if I am having sensory neural hearing loss in my right ear, the Weber will lateralize to the left ear because now the my cochlear function of the right ear is decreased. So, the vibrating tuning fork, it will be heard more on the opposite ear through bone conduction. And for Weber to lateralize, the hearing difference in the ear should be at least 5 decibels. Now, in Rinne test, we say that for Rinne test to be negative, the airborne gap should be of at least 15 to 20 decibels. But for Weber to lateralize, the hearing difference in the ears should be at least 5 decibels only. It means that Weber test is somewhat more sensitive than Rinne test in detecting even smaller intensity of hearing loss. Now, the uses of Weber test are to know the type of hearing loss. Now, it is an important point to note that neither Rene nor Weber can perfectly determine the type of the hearing loss in isolation. But when they are interpreted and read simultaneously, then then we can know the type of the hearing loss. Secondly, to detect false negative Rene. Now, false negative Rene is seen in unilateral severe sensory neural hearing loss where Rene should come positive because it is SNHL. But because of the transcranial transmission of the sound, the patient actually hears from the opposite ear. So Rene is negative, even there is severe sensory neural hearing loss. So when we do the Weber in such patient, the Weber will not be lateralized to the side which is having Rene negative, but it will lateralize to the side opposite ear, and that is why we can say that Rene which was coming negative, actually it was false negative. So to detect false negative Rene, Weber test is done. Thank you.